Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's Milton's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have a great show for tonight, so boys, let's get it started. Well, we start with the New England Patriots, and, well, breaking news. It's not that much of a breaking news because it happened apparently yesterday, but the Patriots, because we just love Cleveland Browns, we can't get enough of them. Yeah. So if Corey Coleman wasn't enough for us, the wide receiver who lasted 5 days, we acquired Josh Gordon, who was good in 2013, right? It's kind of like Sandra Bullock. Boys, did you see Ocean's 8?
Sure.
You did?
I missed
Sandra
that one.
Bullock looks like Michael Jackson, okay? Sandra Bullock used to be very beautiful. She now looks like Michael Jackson. When you look like Michael Jackson, you can never look like Sandra Bullock again. When you're Josh Gordon,
you're
never
not attractive at all anymore.
No, she's not. No, it's
Not that
absolutely.
she was ever a stunner.
No, she was very pretty. I like Sandra
A
Bullock.
warm spot for her.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. We're Adrian's favorite, but yeah. But you're not going to look. So you're not going to be Josh Gordon again,
you can't
right?
get it
Yeah,
back.
because he's Michael Jackson right now, and he's not going to be Josh Gordon.
Hey, look.
And it was just another desperate Hail Mary attempt by Bill Belichick to make up for the fact that he had Brandon Cooks, he had Danny Amendola, he lost them, free agency and trade, and now he's got nothing.
Well, he's busy. He seems to be going through the Cleveland Browns dumpster. For
Right.
the last 3 years, we've been getting all sorts of guys out of there.
Yeah, it's a yard sale.
Now,
Like Cleveland Browns yard sale.
I've heard guys put him in the top 3 in the league. Potential.
Josh Gordon.
Ability.
In
Yeah.
2013, guys. This is 2018.
He had that 1 year.
Right.
Imagine. So this guy, playing drunk and high all the time. He's been playing on one leg with an arm tied behind his back. Imagine if, God willing, this guy can stay away from that stuff. God, who knows if he will be.
Yeah.
This guy could really be something if
look,
if it works out.
Look,
There's not a chance.
I'm winning the lottery tonight, too.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I mean, look, it's an act of desperation. I think
Yeah.
we all agree with that.
2 games.
But it could also work out. Meaning, we should criticize Belichick for getting us to this point where we're throwing
exactly,
life
yes.
preservers
That's
into
great
the
point.
Cleveland
Yeah.
Browns
Unprepared.
organization.
Cleveland Browns.
But by the way, it could also be worth the move. Like, it could work out. Now, it's probably a low likelihood, but you only do it in an act of desperation.
I'm very familiar with recovery.
Yeah.
And I have seen guys come from much lower depths than that to come back and be very effective.
But they have a
But there's a step
maybe-
program. On Saturday,
I do
when
like
he got
it.
cut, he was clearly
I know.
not
No,
ready
Right.
to
that's
practice.
actually not that has actually been disproven. By the way, again, this is an act of desperation and all that. It may not work out. It is not the case. The Browns moved off of this. Hey, we thought he was drugged up. That is not the case. And the NFL would have tested him and found that if that were true.
Yeah. It seems like it's I've read everything. He's admitted to everything. He's not trying to hide anything. He knows he has a problem.
But the Cleveland Browns didn't think he could contribute to their team currently at the present time. So, and they're historically one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Scotty,
Why do we think one of the best teams in the NFL are going to
Because
rehab him when?
Because we have a history of taking guys who washed out of other organizations for one reason or another and rehabilitating them. And again, I
can't think of any case of that.
Randy
Corey
Moss
Dillon?
washed himself out of
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Oakland.
Well,
Corey
he
Dillon
wasn't-
washed himself out of Cincinnati.
No,
We've
but
got a
the
list a
rest,
mile
the difference
long.
is they were good players, not far off.
No,
when we
Randy Moss
acquired them.
was trash. By the time he hit the end of the line in Oakland, Moss wasn't on the field. He was trash. He had no motivation to do anything.
Right, but
I think there's nothing
he
but
walked off
upside
the
in
field.
this.
He
There
walked
is
off
no,
the
there is
field.
no
Corey Dillon
downside
walked
to this.
off the
The
field.
guy comes here, he washes out. That's what everybody expected. You know, people do get better sometimes, and if this guy gets better, they're saying with this God-given ability that he has, this could be the coup of a
no,
lifetime.
but it comes down to the guy truly hasn't played NFL football since 2013.
He's played 11 games.
11 games. That's not NFL football in 5 years. And, he's collected a paycheck, and he doesn't have the desire, clearly. And, you don't play football. After a while, you really
And if
don't
you
want to
keep
go out
giving
there
him a
and get
paycheck,
hit.
Well, if he didn't want to play, he would have just quit by now.
No.
No. Where else are you going to get $1 million for sitting around?
And somebody's
getting
always
drunk?
paying attention to him. And the Cleveland Browns, if he was on Hard Knocks, right? They were very happy to have him come into the locker room, but they were very hesitant to pay any attention to him. Yeah. And at one point, I remember the GM Dorsey said, "Is he in the building today?"
Wouldn't it be great though if he got it together?
I think it would be great.
Oh,
Be a great
yeah.
story.
It'd be
A nice
what
addition
coup.
to society.
That's right.
Right, but it's not happening. All right, so the Patriots lose 31-20. Guys, quick observation. We looked slow. Would you agree?
Oh,
Yes.
doesn't it seem
for
like
sure.
we have the ability to make other quarterbacks, like we give other quarterbacks the greatest games of their career, even the years we were winning the
Even
Super
third
Bowl.
stringers.
You know,
Right.
third stringers, they come in and they have the day of their life against the Patriots.
It's because they play so soft. They play
I know.
off everybody.
Yeah.
Let them make the reception. Then they tackle.
Everybody,
No yards after catch.
every
Who
guy
cares?
seemed like they caught the ball. There was no within 5-10 yards of them.
After the first game, the defense looked aggressive and tighter in that first game. I thought, all right, maybe we've changed the system up. We're going to stop all those crisscrossy routes in the middle that beat us. And then we go out and we play Matt Patricia's defense. Apparently, Matt Patricia prepped the Patriots for the game against
I know.
He
Jacksonville.
told
Yeah,
me
right.
to do something about them.
Vanilla.
Let them
Oh, my
catch
goodness.
any crossing pattern in front of them that they could possibly want to catch.
How many times did the announcer say, "This is the greatest game Blake Bortles has ever played"?
Yeah.
Other than the game in the AFC
AFC
Championship.
Championship,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That was second.
we don't, we used to be the Patriots at halftime. And remember when we had Joe and Drew
Gonna make
there,
adjustments,
he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah, we make these great adjustments." Oh, that's what the Patriots are doing. They'll be a totally different team. They don't make any adjustments
It was
anymore.
worse.
Right? They do the same thing.
Yeah, no, that whole adjustment thing seems to be stale at this point. We just have not been putting defenses together that could compete for 60
Maybe
minutes.
they're not smart enough to adjust. I
Or
don't know.
Joe, maybe it's because, would you admit, they do not have any playmakers on defense.
None. I've been saying that for the last 3 years.
You start watching the Jaguars, and they got playmakers are the yin yang, right? They got speed, they have enthusiasm,
Yeah.
right? And it's a completely different team than the Patriots are throwing out there.
You know, how many times have we buried Belichick in the past? But it does seem like we might not have the talent. We just might not have the talent to accomplish it.
Okay, all right. If Russ Stevens was the GM right now of the Patriots, would you be asking for his head?
Sure.
No.
No, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
if
of
he's
course.
Sitting right next to me.
I
now,
would.
right?
No,
No,
absolutely.
but-
If I've been picking like Belichick has been picking for the last, or the team has been picking for the last 3 or 4 years, we should have 24-year-old guys with speed on our defense.
Right.
Right?
Who plays
Cyrus
special
Jones was a
teams
second
currently.
round
Right.
draft pick. He's now back on the practice squad, right? We do not have the kind of young players that carry us into this next phase because they missed on a bunch of draft picks.
Yet Nick Caserio still has a job as the head of scouting.
Right, so there's
Player
no anger
personnel.
yet in anyone yet. But if there had been,
Well,
if Russ
Belichick
Stevens had
has
been the
kind
GM, the talk shows and everything would be talking
All
about
over me.
Because
winning
how
together.
many, well, think of our history. How many times have we had conversations like this in the past and they're in the Super Bowl?
I
Yes,
know, no,
it's
it's
true.
true.
Absolutely.
That has to end, and it's ending this year. All right, just in
Are
case.
you happy about that?
No,
Are
I'm
you
happy
happy
about it.
about
Nobody
You
loves
seem
the
to be-
Patriots more than
you
me.
seem to be
Nobody.
like
rebel.
He will crow. when
Former
it-
season
I know.
ticket holder,
97.
currently on the season
You from
ticket
Boston?
holder list from Methuen. Give me a break. All right,
from New
Gronk. Yeah, right. Gronk, just so you know, will be doubled and triple teamed until further notice.
Why
That,
not?
Of course, that's natural.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a
It works
defensive
like a
coordinator
charm.
to realize you got crappy wide receivers. The best guy going out for a pass is Gronk.
Yeah.
We don't want him to beat us, right? And that is exactly what happened with the Jaguars game.
Yeah, we just don't have enough horses.
It'll be interesting to see what Matt Patricia does to Gronk.
Great.
What he
great.
does.
Yes. All right. Before we do the predictions, and we'll do it, I'll tell you what's going to happen in that game. All right, boys. I hate to say it because we love Dante Hightower. We on this show endorse the signing of Dante Hightower. but he's as finished as an athlete has ever been.
He does look.
Or-
lost.
How old is he?
He's playing 27, 28. He could also be hurt, right? I mean, the kind of speed he didn't display on Sunday is either of a man who has lost it or he's got a knee
It's
injury.
been a
bum
full
wheel.
year since the surgery, right?
But that surgery was an upper body surgery.
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
had the
miss time
shoulder.
because of a knee, a lower body injury. He missed time because of his shoulder.
Oh
last
yeah,
year.
I think he's done because of the injuries have
got
piled
some
up and
chronic
just
knee
physically
problem,
he
maybe.
cannot.
The knee is
handle
still
it
coming
anymore.
back to haunt
certainly
him.
Yeah, the way
seems
he's
like it.
always played has been a hell bent
he
for
wasn't-
leather like Gronk. And
He was a stud.
He
Yeah.
was
Great.
unbelievable. I wonder, could they move him to sort of defensive end at this point in time and just say, look, you're no longer able to cover that kind of ground in midfield, but maybe put him.
I don't
on
think
the-
he's big enough to
Because if
take
he's
on
that
it.
slow, they're just going to put running
offensive
backs out
tackles.
against him.
It's what they did the other day.
Patterns all day long.
I mean, they were running crossing patterns under those guys all day long.
Would you say that if Dante Hightower wasn't Dante Hightower and didn't have that contract, that he would even have made the team?
Oh, I don't
You
know.
know what I mean?
I don't think
At
the
this
sample size is big enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
let's
not as
see.
like there's a lot of competition in the linebacker.
Yeah, I
corps.
know.
Right. But he was taking a spot that they didn't go out and get. I assume go out and get stuff.
that could be-
Get another Cleveland linebacker.
It all goes back
Bacchinius
to
bingo again?
Look, it all goes back to the top, the front office, which of course is Bill Belichick, and the personnel moves, and that's why Cleveland Browns are Cleveland Browns. And right now, the Patriots are acting like the Cleveland Browns.
But Scott,
boys.
do you believe that when the dust settles, we're going to be, at or near the top?
No,
again?
it's over. I've told you guys it's over. And then one of the reasons it's
And he
over
wants
is
it to be over. That's
no,
the,
that's
the
not
lousy
true,
part.
boys. I just want to tell you what's happening, guys, because you guys want to watch your little DVRs of the past Super Bowls, and I'm telling you, this is the present.
There
And
does seem to be a confluence of events with all these books about Belichick and Brady hating each other and
Look,
this,
guys,
that, and the other
they're
thing.
going to go 11-5. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to probably get themselves into an AFC championship. I'm totally with Timmy. All of this can be true, and when the dust settles, they still play in the AFC East
What'd they do
with
against
a
the
bunch
Chiefs'
of
first
crappy
game last
teams.
year?
Right.
They look like the worst team.
Right.
we're being exposed.
But
Russ.
what did they do in the last
We
game?
said,
They looked like
guys,
just
They
as
did,
bad.
I know.
3
But that
years-
was the Super Bowl, Joe.
But they looked just
But
as
they
bad.
made it to the Super Bowl.
3 years ago, we buried them after that Kansas City loss. They're exposed. It's over.
Listen,
And then
drafting
they
this-
lost one more game the rest of the year.
Drafting this
Oh,
low.
I know, right? There's a history of
They're
that.
drafting this low for so many years. We're the only ones on the planet that have sustained this high level. Eventually, not drafting in the first round until the end, and the second round not
And
till the
blowing
end.
picks.
Eventually, you're
gonna
going
catch
to
up
run
with you.
low on talent.
Yeah, that's what
and
they've
we
done.
lost the picks
No,
because of the
right,
Deflategate,
right, of
the
course, it's an
Spygate.
evolution.
Yeah.
It's been an unbelievable run. It's been the run of my whole
So it's
childhood.
more of a miracle that
Yeah.
he's kept us there.
childhood. Yeah, absolutely.
Then hey, maybe we're going to slack off. I mean, eventually we're going to fall off. Eventually, it's going to
and
end.
it's
Half the
happening
people
now.
in the world have never seen anything but the Patriots on
My
top.
kids, since they were born.
But look, you saw a
It's just-
preview. You saw Bill Belichick on the sidelines, almost catatonic because of the heat, looking like he needed a bench to just lay down and wait for the early bird
probably didn't
special.
know
He
either.
didn't
And then
come
you
to
saw-
life on that punt.
But then you saw
Josh.
Josh, so he could yell at what, King? Yeah. And then you saw Josh McDaniels acting like a 12-year-old, yelling and screaming at the players in the first quarter, which seemed completely out of place. Would you agree?
No, hey, hang on. No, I would. So, I wouldn't. You can't criticize Belichick for being catatonic and doing nothing, and then criticize Josh McDaniels for yelling at some. I would, if I was Josh McDaniels and I thought the offense was playing like dog whatever, then bring him over there and give him a tongue
When I
lashing.
coach hockey, I coach 12-year-olds. I yell at them.
I know,
Yeah.
I know,
I mean,
but
I'm not gonna
we have never
criticize-
seen Josh McDaniels do that.
Right, we've never seen an offense. I mean, that offense was putrid the other
Yeah.
day. They deserved every single word they got from
Maybe
McDaniels.
the yelling is what makes them come around to
Yeah.
doing things they're
Every single
supposed to
word.
do.
They got off so slow in that first half. That offense just
3 and
was,
out, 3 and out.
I got no problem with Josh
Lackadaisical.
McDaniels yelling at
We
the team.
just
on the
expect
sideline.
them to just march down the field every time.
Look, you
We're
can-
shocked when they don't.
You can yell and scream at this current personnel all you want, but the fact is, boys, would you agree with me? We have no tough guys. We're playing a football game with
And
in
the
the
Jags
NFL.
are loaded
and
with tough guys.
We don't have
Yeah.
we don't have one
I
tough
agree.
guy, and we don't have one tough guy
The
on
Jags,
defense.
the
I
Jags
don't
are
agree with
legit.
Well, name a tough guy in defense.
I
Name
don't-
a guy who's gonna smack.
Is
him.
it the toughness or is it the speed or the talent? Like if the guy if you can't catch a guy, you're not going to be able to club him. They're not getting hits on guys, not because they're not tough, is they're too slow to tackle anybody.
But when you do get to hit the guy, you gotta try.
line
there
him
were
up and
plenty-
lay
we
him out.
hit plenty of guys hard in that first week. of the season. You know, we've had 2 games. Our defense played well one game and played like crap the second game.
And the Jags are a very good team.
We sat here last week and said, yeah, the defense played pretty well. They looked tight.
Yeah.
They were tough. They played hard. And now we don't have a tough guy on the entire
No, but I
defense?
said that already.
Oh, I don't think anyone said they looked like they were playing tough.
No,
I'd
no,
like to
no.
see-
When I say
I'd
tough,
like
we
to
said
see
they definitely played
6 games.
disciplined.
Yeah.
6 games. Let's see where we're at.
Yeah, all right, we're going to go to predictions. We're playing the Detroit Lions. Matt Patricia, that's the professor's favorite.
Yeah, my favorite coach in the NFL.
Right. And now, if you remember, guys, when Eric Mangini had his first game against
Yep.
the Patriots, when Josh McDaniels had his first game against
against
the
them.
Patriots, they wiped us out both out, right? So I'm predicting right now that the Detroit Lions will wipe us out on a Sunday night at 8:30, which is the worst because now it's 11:30 on a Sunday night, and the Patriots go wipe out. 41-17, the Patriots will lose.
No, I think the Patriots will win.
To
And
Detroit.
Matt Patricia might be the first coach fired, even though he's got a pretty long contract.
Oh,
There's a mutiny going on over there.
No,
already.
that was a rebuild. All right, what do you say, Joe?
I like the Patriots by 3 scores.
3 scores.
I'm
Rusty,
doing the dead solid opposite of you. 41-17. The Patriots are going to crush the Lions, and we're going to sit here, and you'll be 0-3 in your picks. Not that we will remember, because you're 0-2 now. Not that we remember. We won't be charting these.
What are you
right?
talking? I
You
said the
picked-
Patriots were going to win in Houston against
No,
Houston.
you picked against them.
No, not against Houston.
I can't remember.
I'll check the
just-
tape. I'm
he
pretty
burned
sure
the
you.
tape,
I'm
Bob.
pretty sure you. I'm pretty sure you picked against them.
No, I think I said they would win. I said they would win this week too. All right, Tim. So what do you? So you have 41-17.
41-17.
I'm
Timmy
saying,
boy,
28-10.
Patriots.
Patriots.
Okay, all right, we'll see. It should be a fun game if you can stay up for it. All right, so we go to the Boston Red Sox, the greatest team in the regular season, possibly, in the history of the Boston Red Sox. You got to give them their props for many things. But Chris Sale being nursed like this for wear and tear the whole season and getting him ready for the playoffs could prove to be the one move
They
that
might
wins us
have
a
done
World
it
Series.
a little too late because he's not quite 3 innings now, maybe 6
That's fine.
innings.
We got a couple more weeks.
What's he need to go 7 innings? You think?
Yeah,
like, You got to
absolutely.
train him to go 7 in
Yeah.
the playoffs, right?
He's-
what?
I'd
90
like to see him
pitches?
go 9
something
in
like
playoffs.
that. Yeah, you
I
might
think
want
they
him to
did
go
exactly what they should have done because the guy obviously has shown a history of wear and tear later
Yeah.
in the year.
Yeah.
As we all
Even
know.
with the White Sox, he was.
And
he
when
was
he's fresh,
all
he's
apart.
maybe the best pitcher in the league.
And the guy's very happy about it. He's saying, "This is great. I'm all set.
Yeah.
I've got 3 innings now."
Do you guys think that? I mean, my opinion is he probably had a little shoulder tenderness. That wasn't like they invented shoulder tenderness, but they probably exaggerated it.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like he had something.
They're babying him.
Yeah,
like,
and they
like
babied him
should.
through it. Yeah.
With the whole premise that you could do an MRI of any of these these pitchers, and you would find something wrong.
No
with
doubt.
them. Yeah.
No doubt.
But that he's happy psychologically.
Yeah.
That's all
One
that
of the
matters.
benefits of having a good year and being in a comfortable position to get into the playoffs, we had the luxury of doing this.
And if you watch our bullpen, you said 7. I think 8.
Well, you try to
8
get
innings
yeah.
is what you're going to try to
You
get from
try to
him.
get as much out of him as you can, right?
Oh, yeah, you have to.
8.
Everyone looks bad.
Boy,
Well,
Evaldi
Evaldi
pitched
yesterday
so
looked
well
good.
last
He
night.
looked
Boy,
like he
you-
Yeah, well, he's
Sure,
definitely
yeah.
on the roster. Absolutely.
Well, he's
But,
on
you
the
know,
roster. He could be the 8th inning guy.
I think you're going to save him as much as possible for down the road where you can use him for 3.
Oh, I'd like
I'm
to
thinking
see him
Steven
use
Wright's
it like
that
they
guy.
used Price last year and bring him in for
I think
3
Evaldi's
innings
that
in the
guy.
middle
Yeah,
of
it's
the
a
game.
great question, right? Like, so is he the first guy you go to in a game? So say Porcello pitches, gets roughed up in the 3rd inning of his first start. Do you go to Evaldi and say, give us 3 innings from Evaldi? Or do you say, get Stephen
Workman.
Wright in there, try to get 3 innings out of Stephen Wright? Or do you mix and match guys? What do you do?
I
If
think
you're
you-
Alex Cora.
I put Evaldi in because Stephen
too.
Wright can go south really quick and then
Yeah.
the game's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're blown out, right? If you're down 5-0 in the 3rd inning and it's looking bleak, you may put Wright in. But if you're down 3
Yeah.
and you want to keep this game tight, I'm with you. I think I would put Evaldi in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could be the wild card of the
If he's
playoffs.
throwing 100 miles an hour,
Oh, man.
coming in fresh, and just say just 3. You don't have to go 6, 7.
Yeah.
Just 3, please.
All right, so boys, I was really good in math until like trigonometry, and then it lost me. But my math skills are coming back right now for the 25-man
Gazette
roster. The 21 to
Are you,
25.
are you doing calculations again?
Yeah, right. The 120, the 25 number that works for
It's
all
nice
of us
and
at our
even,
age.
divisible by
Yeah,
5.
right. And I didn't realize the calculator's on your phone. Great. That would've been-
there you go.
So all right,
Look smart.
I know that button.
right. So the key is, are the Boston Red Sox keeping 11 pitchers or 12 pitchers? Because if they keep 11, we now know that they are keeping 3 catchers.
They are keeping
Okay.
three, yeah.
So, and we figured that out last week. Are we the ones who?
I just heard on the radio Cora getting interviewed. They're keeping
Yeah,
three
it's a
catchers.
done deal. So the difference between 11 pitchers is 12 pitchers is Rafael Devers.
Yeah.
So who's more important, a Tyler Thornburg, a Heath Hembry, or a Joe Kelly, or having Rafael Devers there to pinch hit, play a game against everybody?
I think if they intend to use Evaldi and Wright as relievers, they can afford to shorten the pitching core.
Those
in
three names you
Devers.
just
Russ is
mentioned
right.
cannot be pitching an inning in the playoffs.
Embry, I think by and large, Embry's been a pretty decent guy. I would pitch him in the 6th inning of a playoff game. I wouldn't let him near the 8th
Doesn't
inning.
it seem like he gets just pounded every time he comes?
Well, no, he doesn't like the high leverage.
Yeah, I mean,
You
his
bring him
stats
into
are pretty
the
good.
5th or the 6th, he's excellent.
His
Yeah,
stats
I like
are good.
Hembry a lot, and the whispers
6th
are
inning.
right, but the whispers are that he's
Really?
on the bubble big
Really?
time. With the idea, which we said last week, and I agree, Bobby Pointer,
Because they want a lefty.
they have to have a lefty who can handle a left-handed
Just a one-out lefty.
batter, and that would have been nice
But
last
don't
night
you
with
think
Neil Walker.
that's
was
the
the
only thing
experiment,
that's
you
the only thing that you think it was an experiment last night?
Oh,
Because
it's
I would have
definitely an
thought that
experiment.
the thing that if Pointer was on the roster, I would have thought he'd bring Pointer in last night for Walker. The
At
lefty.
least turn
Yeah,
Walker
but Walker's
around.
a switcher.
People
Yeah,
were shocked
turn him
that-
around,
he's-
though.
I
But-
saw
yeah,
it. I
But
didn't
turn
know
him
that.
around where he doesn't hit
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
And left field is right field is the
Oh, boy,
porch.
that
there.
guy-
You want to
Oh,
make him
last
hit. It
night.
would have gone out of any
Make him
park
hit it to
anyways,
left.
but
That
But
was a
Pointer
problem.
has been very impressive since he came
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
the announcers were shocked when Pointer didn't come in last night. They
Yeah.
were, oh my God, what's going on here? You know?
I think it's to your point. It's an
I
experiment.
thought they
Yeah.
had him ready, too.
So I think Pointer makes the team. I think that Thornburg, would we agree?
Oh God, I hope
He's
not.
out of the race.
Yeah, please leave him behind.
Yeah.
He's done nothing to deserve that.
Dave Dombrowski just has to swallow his ego on
Yeah.
that thing. That was, as Michael DeCock, Governor
If they
Michael
win,
DeCock
give him a
would say,
playoff
a
share.
complete disaster.
You know,
that
if
trade.
we, Joe average guys here knew that this giant hole was in the bullpen,
Totally
the
agree.
second half of the year, how did he not go out and do something?
And not only that, Timmy, I
Yep,
was thinking about this last night, and he had all sorts of excuses lined up. I think we're fine. We're going to be able to move this guy. The problem is they're out of time. Joe Kelly has no time to improve enough to feel good about him in the playoffs.
No.
Right?
Right.
No.
Thornburg has not enough time to prove himself worthy. So Cora's going into the playoffs with a bunch of unknowns
We
in the
have been
bullpen.
Yeah.
bashing this point home since
Totally agree.
June, and nothing was done about it. He went out, got a second baseman, he got a third baseman, he got this, he got that. No one for that gigantic gaping gash that was waiting. How could he not do it?
I don't know.
And I have a lot of
great
confidence
question.
in Cora to make the right decision, but there's almost no right decision to make.
No matter who comes in there, boom, there it goes, there it goes.
Could we have a Grady Little situation? Everybody rags on Grady Little, and he deserved it. But the fact is that in 2003, that bullpen sucked the whole year. They were finally getting it together in the playoffs with Timlin and
Tim
Embry.
Embry and
but
Folk,
the
yeah.
reason he kept Martinez in
was
was
emotionally
he didn't
scarred.
depend.
Yeah,
he
he
couldn't
couldn't depend on
depend
those
on
guys.
them.
Right. That's
So is
exactly
Cora
right.
at a point because Cora, you can see his face when he takes
Oh.
some of these guys out. He's absolutely
you
disgusted.
see it on the face of everyone in Fenway.
Yeah. And Cora's not good at hiding it. Farrell hid it a lot.
I'll borrow a phrase that Joe has said is that, what it's going to force him into doing is stealing outs. He's going to look to steal,
From the status.
So say Sale goes 7, right? He'll send him out for the 8th, try to steal an out or 2.
Yeah.
Price goes 6.
That
right?
inevitably goes
Sends him
wrong.
out,
Yeah.
and it goes wrong. All
All
of a sudden, the
you
guy's
got
on
men on
base.
the corners.
Now you're bringing Heath Embry into a
gotta
game with a
walk.
guy on base. He walks a guy. There's 2 men on, and you're chasing.
Well, didn't Farrell do that with Sale in game 4 when he came in relief? He tried to steal another outer inning
Stealing
and guy hit a
outs.
solo home
Yeah,
run,
that's
right?
it.
And tie it
That's
up.
right.
Yeah.
That's what.
How many times have you seen that go wrong in these giant playoff games? They
A
try
lot
to
of times.
take the
But
guy
they,
one extra
the
out.
managers
and
are, their hands
That's
are
right.
almost tied.
Well, it goes back to
bring in-
Dombrowski. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
keep blaming him for not
Yeah.
bringing in
No,
one guy.
Let's put it this way: if the bullpen blows this thing in the playoffs, it's on one person.
The only
It's
thing we got
Dombrowski,
going for us
absolutely.
is every team has flaws.
True.
Okay, so who do we depend? Right, forgetting Kimbrel because obviously he's our 9th inning guy. Who on the bullpen do you trust coming out of there? Who will you not cringe when you see running to the mound?
The 2 guys he ran in last night have performed very well over the last month: Brazier
Brazier, yeah.
and Workman.
Workman.
Right? And
Well,
I actually
feel-
have like trust in my gut for Workman because
When,
I've seen him
when
do
I
it
see
before
Workman
in the
coming in,
playoffs.
when I
Right?
see Workman coming in, I don't have that sick
Right,
feeling.
because he throws strikes. He's got a nice curveball and get guys out. And now that last night he did not pitch well.
But that was on Vasquez. That whole seventh
that's
inning
a
was
other
on
thing.
Vasquez.
Yeah, I think Vasquez is a horrible game caller.
He sure
He's
is.
constantly on a different page with his pitchers. The only catcher on the team you see running out to the mound still is Vasquez.
Yeah. And Workman could not throw his curveball over, and he kept on calling for the
Calling for it.
curveball.
And then he calls for a slider from Brazier. And I'm like, why? And even Eckersley is like, why would you do that? You have a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Right,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
That's why I say, who is the starting catcher game? Well, obviously game 1 would be Leon.
Leon.
But game 2 for Porcello, when they go away from Leon, is it Swihart or Vasquez?
Give me Swihart. I don't want to see Vasquez. I want to see Vasquez as like the emergency catcher.
The late defensive, late
Yeah,
inning
they had a
defensive
pinch hit for
replacement.
somebody and bring him in.
Exactly.
And Swihart's the late innings offensive replacement.
You don't see guys shaking Swihart off. You
No.
don't see guys shaking Leon off. Last night, it was a shake festival last night. I mean, they were like, the relievers, the star, everyone was shaking Vasquez off last night.
Yeah, that was a terrible night for him. All right, so you trust Workman and Brazier.
More so than the other guys.
Yeah.
And that's
Joe
Well,
Kelly is just
hopefully
like
we
opening
switch
a-
Evaldi into that role.
Yeah.
all right,
I wanna
Matt
see
Barnes,
Evaldi.
do you
That's
trust?
what I'm
'Cause you
basing
know I
my
don't trust.
I'm basing my fall on Evaldi.
You're totally
You know?
right. And then, look, Barnes pitched well, but the guy hasn't. No, and they keep talking about Barnes. He's gonna. Core's like, yeah, Barnes is gonna come back. Barnes, he hasn't pitched in a month.
Yeah, and what is the problem? Hip?
Hip. That's not
Oh,
good.
hip problems never.
Yeah, never a bad thing.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right, exactly. Ask Isaiah Thomas how that went
Yeah,
for
what
him.
could possibly
Cam
go wrong?
Neely's
Three hip
very happy about
replacements.
it.
Oh, you'll be
It's
fine. We'll just trade you.
right.
Hip is a hard thing to play sports with.
Yeah.
It sure
Oh my
is.
God.
But it sure
It's
is.
a kiss of death. That's
It's
the
a hard
end.
thing to come back from in a couple of weeks from.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So, literally, you're talking about guys who, Workman and Brazier.
Guys.
Brazier, who is in Japan minor leagues, and
Yeah.
Workman, who spent most of the year in the minor
He's a
leagues.
Korean minor
don't
leaguer.
hold that against Brazier, though. He's doing what he's doing. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter where
he
he's
is.
been. He's doing what he's doing.
But Timmy, when the
No,
bright
guys,
lights
we're
go,
going to be like
I know.
this.
I
The
know.
whole just get ready for the
Sometimes that
playoffs like
fastball
this.
is awful
We're going to
straight.
be watching the relievers come in with hands over our face.
Yeah, so don't be screaming at the TV. Get that starting pitcher out. No,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we have fantastic starting
Leave
pitching.
Pedro in Grady.
Yeah, right, exactly. But you know it's going to end up. You're saying Dombrowski's going to get blamed. It's always the manager. Who
I
gets
hope
blamed
not.
First,
Look, I
right?
hope
Yeah.
not.
Because he's the one who made
Pete
the move.
Cora does
Yep.
not have a lot of good choices.
Are you guys worried about the home runs going a little silent right
yeah,
now?
that's a weird thing, right?
Man, they're kind of they're phoning it in. All right, I want a question. You know I love John Lester. It's one of the
Yeah.
most emotional times of my sports career when Johnny Boy left this Boston Red Sox team. However, David Price has proven his mettle this year.
Yeah.
So, in the playoffs, don't talk about contracts. In the playoffs, who would you take on your team first? David Price or John Lester? And I can't believe I'm asking this question, but it's a valid question.
I think I would take David Price right now.
You take David Price.
I would take Price because Lester's ERA since the All-Star break is over 5. I mean, he's gone south.
All right, so David Price for the rest
I
of
mean,
you.
Lester seems to be a big game player, so I think I might go with Lester. I mean,
Okay.
he's been a
I'll buy
stud
that.
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, unless he's physically broken down through age, if he's a shell of what he was,
Yeah.
he is a gutsy, ballsy playoff pitcher.
He is. There's no doubt.
Yeah, my loyalty and my love is always with John Lester. and my prediction here,
You're embarrassed to ask the question.
John Lester will, and it won't be one of these one-day stupid contracts. John Lester
Yeah.
will end his
I
career with
do
the
give
Boston Red
Price.
Sox.
You think so?
I do
Yes.
give Price credit for the other day saying, "Look, I could go 35-0 if I don't perform in the playoffs. I haven't done what I was supposed to here." So he gets it now.
Yeah. All right, so I want to finish up with the Red Sox. It's tough now because the next 2 weeks are pretty much major garbage time, right?
Yeah.
Experiment. It's a petri dish with the relievers
Exactly.
But it's tough because you got to get yourself like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. You're gonna have to get geared yourself up for the first
And
game of
you
the
don't,
playoffs.
yeah,
you
after
don't,
you've
you don't want to
wound
go in
down.
losing a bunch of games
No,
either. That
no.
is a recipe for disaster, I
Yeah,
think.
I
You want to
agree.
go in swinging,
Yeah.
going, hitting home runs and
Yeah, I'd
pitching
like
well.
to see them swinging the bats a little better
Yeah.
going into the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go quickly to Celtics. Jamal Crawford, who's one of our favorites, and we've been lighting the candle for
Yeah,
him for a
look,
long
you bring
time.
in a guy. If you bring in a guy who can shoot threes when you're behind and close a gap in the fourth quarter, that's a good signing, if you ask me. That would be
18-year veteran on
Yeah.
the bench for
Yeah.
playoff time when all of a
not?
sudden that second team can't score any
When did
points.
we get him?
Jabari Bird is going to be leaving.
It's a rumor.
It's a rumor that he would come to that team. That's a dream, right?
That would be great.
There's an
That'd be
opening
a
in
lot
the
of fun.
roster with Bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will be.
Oh, yeah,
38
absolutely.
years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's
38.
38.
No, but
Is
that's
he?
perfect for
Yeah.
sort of guy. So he's not
think he's
going to
mid-30s.
scream and yell about playing time.
Yeah, he's
All right.
happy to sit on
Just
the
shoot
bench.
threes.
This just in: Jimmy Butler wants to be traded. He said that he would only want to go to 3 teams, but the Timberwolves aren't going to be so accommodating.
Yeah, the Nets-
What would you give up for Jimmy Butler right now?
Nothing.
Yeah, we don't have a need for a wingman.
You
right
know,
now.
Big
well,
money too, right?
Yeah, big money. I actually wouldn't. I mean,
Did he sign a
You
max
would just be
contract?
duplicating
I
the
don't know.
skill
be
Must
set,
be
right?
duplicating
Must be getting
Hayward
good
and
money.
Brown and Tatum. Like I would rather play Hayward, Brown, and Tatum this year than I would Jimmy Butler.
But just the NBA is just so great because
Oh, it's amazing.
They love the
because
super teams.
They've taken what MLB was great about with trade rumors,
Oh.
and they've amplified
They
it 20
have
times
better.
over.
They do it so
You know,
much
my
better.
kid lives on the Instagram, and this just they love the NBA action.
Yeah.
It's like a video game.
Oh,
the
it's
way
awesome.
these players bounce around.
And they're
from
so
team to
good at
team,
social
and
media, and these
They're
players,
excellent
NBA
at
players
that.
get it.
Adam Silver gets
And
it.
Adam
He
Silver
They
sure
get
does.
me
does.
excited.
They
I
release
get very
videos
excited
every
about
day.
it. Like, I got my Celtics season tickets in the mail today.
Very
I was
nice.
cutting them up and stapling them together.
like a school kid. All right, I want to thank the boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes. Of course, the lovely, talented Adrian and William the intern. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.